important that you frame things so that the woman knows what you're trying to accomplish. My problem with the pickup community and with pickup artists is they start from the fundamental premise that if they can pretend and demonstrate enough high value, a girl will decide that they're a good candidate to be her leading man. And they will convince her that if they go to bed with her, they have a chance of capturing this man. A lot of people don't understand what that means. Are you guys, any of you guys fishermen?
Yeah.
You ever go fishing? No? Funny question someone once asked me. They said, do you know why women have pubic hair? It's to hide the hook. Now, if you've ever seen a fishing lure, it might have a feather or something, so the hook isn't obvious. The idea being that women exist to try and capture men and keep them. The whole thing is all very, very unusual and pretty much completely the opposite of what our evolution is about. I'll get back to that in a minute too. Now, knowing that I know what I want from a woman, I'm very, very comfortable flirting with her, chatting with her, exciting her, but letting her know that I'm not ever going to be Mr. Right. I'll just be Mr. Right now, as often as you like, when it's convenient for me. I'll keep you warm and cuddled while you're waiting for Mr. Right Now to show up. I'll talk to a girl and I'll say, okay, tell me about what you're looking for. And she'll look at the little card she's had in her hand since she was 7, when she came up with what Mr. Right would be like. And normally when she goes out to a nightclub, every guy who comes up to her, she compares to him. You go up to a girl in a nightclub and you say, hey, how you doing, whatever. And she looks at you and she goes, too short, too heavy, shorter hair than I want. Let's find out about his career. What kind of car does he drive? Because she makes up her mind the first 15, 20 seconds of seeing you whether she's actually interested in you. And then she makes up her mind the next couple of minutes whether there's any point at all in there being any sort of sexual relationship. What pickup artists do is they pretend to be something they aren't. Girls say, just be yourself. And guys go, what the hell does that mean? The answer is it means, please don't be anything, please don't pretend to be anything you aren't. Because we're going to catch you. We're going to find out. And we're all believing the same thing you do, that women need to have a very low score count, a very, very low number of men that we've been to bed with, in order to maintain our saleability, in order to ensure that someone will want to buy us. And I thought about this for a long time, and I realized why it is that it's so important to men that women have a low number. And it's because daddy needs to be able to think when he goes off to work that his children are his own. And in order for him to feel comfortable with his children are his own, he needs to know that his wife is not into sex. Or at least, that she doesn't give it out easily. So if he had to go out on 6 dates before he got into bed with her, he knows, okay, this is a good one. This one doesn't have sex easily. She only has sex if you really, really work at it. What he doesn't realize, of course, is that the chances she'll have sex with the cable guy or the delivery guy or whatever else are exactly the same as any other woman. When she's in the mood and she finds him interesting enough, she'll go to bed with him. First date, first time, 15 minutes after she meets him, this is what she's meant to do. Now, you guys all, I expect, understand the idea that monogamy, the idea of one man, one woman, pair bonded for life, with no other option, isn't actually a particularly harmonious, happy, or human thing. Right? Anyone here think that it's a natural thing that occurs in nature? In the video, I think I say, if sexual exclusivity, if pair bonding were a human thing by nature, we did it in nature, there would be no such concept as marriage. No concept at all. It would never have had to have existed. We wouldn't have had a word for it. But marriage is really a description of the sale of a woman to a man. And our cultures have all had women as property since we first started to have the idea of property. The idea that our land generated our produce and that produce belonged to us is the reason that men have always believed, for all of history, that women needed to be property. Problem was, women believed it too, and most of them still believe it. They just don't realize that they believe it. And so, if you talk to a bunch of feminists about what they want, what they feel they need, they want equality, they want the same independence, the same rights, the same pay, the same opportunities, and they want a man who's going to be there for them all the time and will want to have sex with them exactly when they want him to have sex with them. He's going to be a participant in raising the children and give them the opportunity to go out and continue with their career. And this man is going to be completely faithful because he understands how important she is. And she's going to be completely faithful, well, as far as he knows. And that's what really matters. The truth of the matter is, if you ask any woman, and you can be very frank about it, you can say, hey, someone said this to me the other day. They said, one thing all men and women can agree upon, one thing all men and women can agree upon, is that you can't trust women. And they'll all nod. The women will all nod. They'll say, well, you can trust me. You can't trust them. The reason for this is that the women all know that at some point in their lives they've been screwed over by their best friend. Their best friend slept with their boyfriend. Or something equivalent. And then afterwards, they disconnected. And when they disconnected, their friend and themselves, they went and they talked to their best friends and their other friends about it. And after commiserating with the other girls for a while, everyone's forgiven the girl who did the trespass, knowing that they all probably would do it themselves, including the girl who was trespassed upon. And so they forgive each other. And they're best friends again, only they'll never ever trust each other again. And this is extremely common and endemic for women. I have this spiel, I talk about this with women all the time, and they all uniformly agree with me. I mean, across the board, they all agree with me.
Sorry, what does the endemic mean?
Endemic means it is basically universally true. Okay? Like an epidemic, which is when a virus or a disease spreads so much that it becomes the standard rather than the exception. Endemic means it starts out as being the standard. Okay? It's already propagated, it's already spread so much that it's what everyone already expects. Now, oh, he's asking for liquor. You know, you should just walk over there.
Yeah, sorry.
And
I'll
more
sort of go around.
There we go. There's no way I'm going to give you this licorice without carrying charges.
Thank you.
These are from me. Ha!